Hello, you're welcome to Nourish and Bloom with More in One Pour. We are continuing with our Christmas series. We are making a very special coconut jollof rice. The good thing about this is that we are trying to make this more special for the Christmas season. So this is Christmas worthy. We have here our tomatoes, some peppers. These are, in Nigeria, we call this shombo. But these are more like paprika peppers. I got them deseeded because we don't want the seeds in this. We don't want this. We don't want it to be too hot. We have some onions. We have ginger. We have the Kambuzi peppers and chili peppers. A mixture of whatsoever spicy peppers that you prefer. So we are just going to be chopping down these tomatoes. We're just going to cook this down. So what I tend to do is to release the juices by smack down with maybe a spoon or something, because this will help us to cause the fluids to be released in the pan. As you can see, we don't have fluids here. Another way to start up this is to just put it on very low heat, cover it. The tomatoes will just gently release its fluid. But there are different ways to make jollof rice. You can actually blend this up first before cooking, but I'm using this particular method today. The onions, you're adding on the peppers, the ginger goes in, and then your spicy peppers are added on as well. So I'm just going to place a lid on this, and I'll be cooking on that low heat so that it releases the juices at first. Then we'll now take the lid off and let it dry out before we blend. So on goes the lid. So this is what it looks like after a couple of minutes. Like I said, once you cover it and you smack down the tomatoes, you'll find out that it will release its juices on its own. So I'm just going to turn off the heat. The point is to get rid of this juice so that we can blend. So as you can see, this is what we have now. It's almost dried up. We need a bit of fluid in it, like I said. So I'll be adding this onto my blender. We're going to be blending this up. So right here, we have the ingredients for the tomato stew or the tomato paste. For the coconut jollof rice, we have our already blended tomato paste with the peppers, and you saw what we added in here. We have some onions, oil, fresh thyme, ginger, garlic paste, curry powder, crayfish, and then we have some cumin. So we're going to start off by cooking our onions. So we have the pan preheating for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to add on the oil, and then our onions goes in. So we'll let this cook until it becomes translucent. So I'm going to be adding on some salt at this stage, just a little bit of salt. Once the onions begin to soften gradually, you add on your thyme sprigs. We'll be fishing this out just before our rice is ready or after our rice is cooked. So at this stage, we'll be adding on our spices. So I'm going to add on my ginger garlic paste at first. And then we're adding on the crayfish, cumin, and curry powder. At this point, we'll be adding on our tomato paste. At this point, we can increase our heat just a little bit so that we cook this through. And then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's ready. So on to the next stage for our jollof rice. There can be jollof rice without some form of protein, chicken, beef. Today we are using some chicken. We have a number of spices going into this. We're starting with the green paste. If you're interested in knowing how I made this, just drop a comment and I will share a video on this. But this is just more of herbs, garlic, and a little bit of ginger blended together. We have some ginger garlic paste. We have some nutmeg, coriander, onion powder, black pepper, our chicken, of course, salt. We are just going to start by adding all this to our chicken. Black pepper goes in, coriander, ground coriander seeds, nutmeg. You can actually make this without the coriander and it will taste really good. So don't say, I couldn't get coriander seeds. No, our ginger garlic paste goes in. We're adding some salt and our green paste. Just going to be adding on some water. I'm going in with my hands to get this all mixed in. Our chicken coated in all these spices and these beautiful herbs. I'll be placing this on heat and then we'll continue with our cooking. So the chicken is cooked and we just separated the chicken from the stock. We will be using our stock for the jollof coconut rice. Right here we have our pan greased with ghee and we've placed our chicken on top. I also brushed some ghee on top of the chicken. So this goes to a preheated oven, 200 degrees Celsius, and then we'll continue with the rest of our ingredients. So right here we have the veggies for the jollof rice. We have yellow peppers, carrots, green beans, green bell peppers. We have some pre-cooked prawns, onions, garlic, Italian herbs, salt. We have some butter and some oil. So the first step is just to get this brown. Remember we say it's already pre-cooked. Adding just a little bit of oil into the pan. Onion goes first. I'm just going to season the veggies a little bit by adding on some salt to the onions. The green beans go in. So I'm not going to cook this through. I'm adding on the carrots now. We'll be adding on our Italian herbs. I always like the flavor this offers to your veggies. You can actually substitute for thyme or any dry herbs that you enjoy that goes with veggies. I'm adding on our peppers at this point. The green pepper goes in and the yellow pepper goes in. I left off a little bit of garlic and that was on purpose. I like to add in a little bit of garlic once I add on the peppers. Adding on the shrimps at this point. Stirring this all together. And I'm just going to turn this out because I don't want it to keep cooking. So I'll grab a plate and turn this out so that it cools down a bit and we'll finish the cooking by the time we add this on to our coconut jollof rice. So we just got this off the stove top and the next aspect of our jollof coconut rice will be to parboil our rice. In this case I'm using basmati rice. I've actually tried brown rice for not jollof coconut but coconut rice and it tasted really good. So if you have brown rice, that's my preference in terms of health. I'll just be giving this a quick rinse and we'll be adding it onto our hot water that is already on the stove top boiling. Once it boils, you rinse off. So on to the final aspect of our jollof coconut rice. We have the tomato base, we have some ginger garlic paste, a little bit of onions, nutmeg, salt, coconut milk, thyme, crayfish, bay leaves, onion powder. This is the shrimp sauce. Like I said, I don't know if I said this earlier, but the shrimp is not compulsory, it's an accessory, it just adds to the rice. I boiled the shrimp for a bit and I got the stock out of it. I just added paprika, onion powder, parsley, a bit of onions and fresh garlic. We have some sesame oil. I noticed this tastes very good with this rice. Some oil. We have the chicken stock. We'll be combining two oils here, some olive oil and the sesame oil. So I'm adding on the oil and a little bit of the sesame oil, and then the onions goes in. We'll let this cook for a bit, just until it becomes translucent. The ginger garlic paste goes in. Here we have our Italian herbs. We have the crayfish. Crayfish is more like fried prawns or fried shrimps as the case may be. We have our onion powder and the bay leaves. They all go in. We're giving this a stir. Remember, this is still under low heat. Let it do its thing for about a minute or so. And then we'll come back and add on the other ingredients. So that's what it looks like at this stage. And we are going to be adding on our rice, the parboiled rice. Now try to coat the rice with all those lovely spices. So I'll be starting with the coconut milk. Giving this a good shake. I'll be measuring using my measuring cup. Here in this stir. I'll be adding on my nutmeg at this stage. The chicken stock goes in. And a little bit of the shrimp stock. Just before it dries up, I like to add on my tomato paste. It helps it not to get burnt at the base. So at this stage, our rice has begun to boil. So as you can see, what I want to do now is to place this over it, hot placingly, and then I will turn it down so that it can steam nicely and cook. So I'm lifting this up now. So that's what it looks like. You can see we still have some fluid in here. And this is the point where I get to add on the tomato base. I'm stirring in, but not getting it to the base. So we'll be covering this again, still cooking on the low heat. Placing our paper on it first. And then this. So I'll come back in a couple of minutes to show you what it looks like. So that's what it looks like at this point. So we'll just be adding on the veggies alongside the prawns. We stir to combine. So we have our coconut jollof rice ready at this stage, and I'll be dishing. This is how we serve our jollof coconut rice, so please stay tuned so that you can see the other spread for the Christmas dinner. This concludes the festive season episodes. Right here we have the coconut jollof rice. We have our brown rice. I usually like to have this with the chicken vegetable. You can have this by itself. If you're looking to lose some weight and you want to cut down on starch, then this is a good start. Right here we have some potatoes. We have the mushroom gravy. This goes with the steak and the potatoes. And we have our big chicken for the coconut jollof rice. I hope you give this a go and let us know what your take is on this. This will make a beautiful spread on your Christmas table. Thank you for sticking with Nourish and Bloom with more in one book.